Hello everyone, this is Saurabh and today we are listening The Legend of the White Snake. It's also known as Madame White Snake. It is a Chinese legend and has been presented in a number of major Chinese operas, films and television series. It is counted usually as one of China's four great folk tales. So let's hear the legend of White Snake or the tale of White Snake. Long ago at Mount Emei in Sichuan province, there lived two snakes, a white one and a green one. They had been engaging in ascetic practices for 1,000 years and had gained the ability and desire to become beautiful maidens in the world of human beings. For this reason, they transformed themselves into Pai Su Chan, white, pure, and loyal, and Xiao Qing, which literally means little green. They appeared abruptly standing beside West Lake Shi Hu in Zhejiang province, the most beautiful place in all the world. So they did what people do there, which was to walk along, enjoying the scenery. They got as far as the famous broken bridge, Tuanqiao, when it started to rain, and they took temporary refuge under a willow. Soon they passed by an affable but naive young gentleman who was called Shu Xian, who was carrying an umbrella as he returned from piously sweeping his ancestors' graves. Seeing two beautiful maidens sheltering under the tree, he lent them his umbrella and helped them summon a boat to take them home. Pai immediately fell in love with him and told him to come to their house the next day to retrieve the umbrella. In the course of that visit, she learned that he was an orphan, living with his older sister and working in an apothecary shop. She proposed that they be married. Shu was delighted, being too poor to have other prospects and being dazzled by her beauty in any event. So, under the direction of Xiao Qing, they worshipped heaven and earth and joined in marriage. They opened their own apothecary, and Pai proved to be an excellent at compounding drugs. Soon they had thriving clients. At the Golden Mountain Monastery in the town of Zhenjiang, there lived a priest named Dharmasi Fa Hai, who recognized Pai as a snake demon of great potential danger to humans, and he sought to warn the affable but naive Shu. Some people also say that Dharmasi was actually an evil monk who deliberately caused a great plague afflicted the region in hope of getting people to buy his medicine and incense and contribute to the temple as they needed a cure. While Pai's treatment easily healed people from this plague. So this was the real beginning of Fa Hai's hostility to her. But Shu refused to believe that his wife was a snake demon. The priest told him to get her drunk at the day of Lantern festival, and she would revert to her true form, and so he did this. But she became quite ill and retired to bed. As he went in to tend to her distress, he saw on his bed an enormous white snake, and was so frightened that he immediately died. When she had recovered, Pai was horrified to discover her husband lying dead, and she appealed to her sister Xiao Qing to help find various herbs needed to bring him back to life. Pai's trip to obtain the magic medicine involved her in martial arts battle with its guardian and other adventures, but she did succeed in bringing Shu back to life. However, he still worried a bit about Pai's reptilian tendencies, even though he felt grateful to her for bringing him back to life. The priest Fa Hai was still unsatisfied. He kidnapped Shu and took him into protective custody at the monastery. When her husband did not return, Pai was distraught and quick to realize what had happened. Her sister Xiao Qing urged her to give up on her inappropriate marriage to Shu. There must be a nice snake out there who would make a fine husband, but the argument fell on deaf ears. Shu, now trapped in a monastery, was correspondingly distraught, although Fahai urged him to forget about the snake demon. Eventually, Pai and Xiaoqing went to the monastery to plead with Fahai to free the captive, her husband, or else to take Shu home by force if necessary. When Fahai did not agree, Pai Su Chen was pregnant at this time, so she was reluctant to engage in violence. But she pulled out her hairpin, which changed into a command flag. As Pai looked on, Xiaoqing used the flag to call up a horde of shrimp and crab soldiers from the waters, who brought with them a rising flood, menacing the whole monastery. But the priest was not without his own magic. The priest was also a magician. Pulling off his robe, he cast it at the oncoming water, and it became a dike holding back the flood. Defeated, the two snakes withdrew, appearing suddenly and magically back at the broken bridge, beside the very willow where they had met Shu Xian at the beginning of our story. Meanwhile, Shu himself managed to escape from the monastery and also suddenly rejoined Pai at the willow. It was not an easy meeting. Pai confessed everything to him, being an infatuated snake demon. Shu swore his love for her anyway, snake or not. Besides, they both knew that their child was coming soon. Xiao Qin was less forgiving. Whipping out her sword, she attacked Shu for being a wimp, for being a nuisance, and possibly for being more attracted to Pai than her. Shu predictably made no attempt to defend himself, fell on ground, and asked forgiveness for whatever he had done. Gradually, Pai talked her sister back into morose calmness, so they lived together and waited for the baby to be born. And a little beautiful baby boy was born. But Fahai remained determined. He managed to capture Pai and imprison her under the pagoda of Thunder Peak, Leifeng Ta. She was saved once again by her sister Xiao Qing, who journeyed to Mount Imei to practice the necessary martial arts, and then returned for the final defeat of the stodgy and unromantic Dharmasi. All this shows that love can conquer all obstacles.